All right, it's the Frang and Mack podcast. Another week, another pretty slow news cycle in the sports world besides the Red Sox, but there's only so much baseball you can really talk this time of year. So the most interesting story in Boston sports, I think you would agree, Frang, is coming at the I-93 overpass in Foxborough off Route 1 with a guy by the name of Abiola Aborshad standing outside Gillette Stadium with a sign in the cleats around his neck and a jumpsuit, a tracksuit, just pleading for a chance to get a tryout with the Patriots for Bill Belichick to watch him. He's been standing out there every day for I think about a month or 6 weeks trying to get a tryout. What are your thoughts on this?
What an interesting story. It seems like in the sports world, this happens at least once a year, different sports. Last year, I believe it was with Houston, the Texans. They brought him in for a tryout. But an interesting story. This kid started in early April, and it's weird that we're only talking about it now that, this past week or so. So he really went unnoticed for 5 weeks. But give the kid a shot. I mean, looking back through his stats, he obliterated the single-season reception list as a senior year at UMass Dartmouth, 2014. He's only 6'1", 6 feet, 194 pounds, so I don't think we need another 6-foot slot receiver, but what harm do you see in bringing in a guy for 3 hours, let him catch a punt, let him run a 40, and you give him a signed football and say thanks for coming by?
Yeah, I agree. It's Joe Anderson was the name of the guy in Houston, and yeah, why not bring him in? I guess kind of, I think Bill Belichick's trying to test him out a little bit. It's sort of like a scene from a movie, how long can he really wait? Bill Belichick's really going to test this guy's, mental toughness and how long he can stick this out. I think 6 weeks or 4 months or 4 weeks, whatever it has been a month. Bill Belichick, that's not long enough for him. He wants to wait. He might take this all the way to training camp. Who knows? To give him a tryout. But give credit to the guy. I mean, he's not, homeless. He's not out of a job. He works at Enterprise. He gets there in the morning at 6 a.m., goes to work, comes back, tries to get the coach on his way out. It's a very interesting story, and it's good for him. I mean, he's trying to live out his dream, but we talked about this earlier. Could it set a precedent for any kid who just graduated college and played Division III football to just make up a cardboard sign and go stand outside any NFL stadium?
Yeah, so there's two ways to look at it. And by the way, we're here at Beantown Blitz. We just reached out to him on Twitter. Hopefully we can get some content for you on him with an interview. But, yeah, there's another way to look at it. I mean, we're, college kids, college-age kids. We know a bunch of athletes that are great in their respective sport in Division III, II, even I. What stops me or you from going down to Gillette? And you played high school football. Throw some bright red cleats on, some bright red, colored cleats, and make a pretty sign and stand out there. So there's two ways to look at it. The one is it's a good PR thing. Patriots bring a guy off the street, a local kid. I think he's from Attleboro.
Attleboro High School, yep.
Give him 3 hours. Let him, get a signed football after. But at the same time, what stops any other Joe Smo from doing this?
Yeah, I mean, that's where it becomes tough. I mean, it's going to be – if you don't take the guy in, it's going to be a PR hit, which Bill Belichick could care less about, But I think somebody like Robert Kraft and Jonathan – he says he sees Jonathan Kraft every morning. They might eventually reach out to Bill and say, hey, just bring this kid in. It doesn't even have to be Belichick. I mean, probably Nick Caserio will be out there throwing the ball to him, having him run through some routes. And I think he'll realize once he gets out there that the NFL the speed of the game at the NFL level is a lot different than it is, playing, Fitchburg State or something like that. Yeah, it's a bit different. Everyone lately has been saying, oh, Malcolm Butler did this. This was like Malcolm Butler 2 years ago. Malcolm Butler put up a picture on Facebook the other day of Abiola saying that this is much like his journey to the NFL. If Division II to the NFL is a huge jump. Division III is basically like a step up from big-time high school football. That is a massive leap. I can't name any NFL players that played Division III.
Especially if you think about places in like Texas where they're building $50 million stadiums for high school. I mean, what Texas football, high school football compared to Division III low-end college football
in Massachusetts.
In Massachusetts, there's a difference there.
Yeah, at least you can say with Malcolm Butler, he played at West Alabama. He grew up playing football in the Southeast, which is where all football players, the football's in the water down there. This kid's from Attleboro High School, didn't play a massive, a real high level of competition in high school. definitely didn't play a real high level of competition in college, and then he's going to jump to the New England Patriots. I mean, I wouldn't write off a team like the Jets or the Bills because, Rex Ryan probably is salivating at this opportunity to snag him from the Patriots and probably put him on the roster, knowing him. But if Bill Belichick, eventually they might bring him in, but I definitely don't see him ever getting on the roster. Not a chance of that happening.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean, we have to be clear that by no means is he a scrub, but I guess you have to factor in level of competition. He ranked fourth nationally in 2014. He averaged 9.3 receptions per game. His 3-year collegiate career averaged 112 all-purpose yards per game, all-purpose keyword, returning and all that. So probably not a scrub by any means, but, you have to factor in who he played.
Yeah, well, that'll do it for this edition of the Frang and Mack podcast. Maybe next time we podcast, Abiola will have a tryout and will be turned away by the Patriots. But all you can hope for is a chance. It's like that movie Invincible with Mark Wahlberg, the bartender turned NFL special teamer. Who knows? Anything can happen. That's why we
Enterprise turned Patriot.
Exactly. From rental
worker turned Patriot.
Yes, that would be something. All right, that'll do it for us.